Hello, my name is Masterclass, and in part 24 of the educational series on PowerPoint software, we will focus on exploring the bar charts within the software. We will have a practical hands-on experience with its chart to familiar ourselves with its functionality. To add the bar chart, you can use insert and chart and then select bar. You can select the simple one or stack and also the 3D. Actually, I don't recommend you to use the 3Ds. When you select it, then click on OK like previous charts. As soon as you add it in the slide, the Excel page opens for it and has the same options in design and format that I don't repeat them again. As we don't have any new option in design and format of the bar chart, I designed a bar chart with the shapes of the PowerPoint and in infographic mode, that in continuation I create a new slide and I will explain the procedure of making these from the beginning. Before telling the tips for making it, first let me show you the result and then we will come back and make one part of it. To make this, we need two shapes of rounded corner for the back and to fill this part, and then we need a circle shape that we make it 3D with the effects that I'm going to teach you, and then we need two text boxes, then we will give animation to these elements. First, let me add the shapes into the slide, then we will give animation to each. First, I select the rectangle, rounded corners from shape section, then create a shape for the background. And then by the help of the yellow handle, I increase the bend level of the shape. And now I regulate the outline as no, and from shape fill section I select the gray color for the background. Then by pressing Ctrl D, I make a copy of this shape and regulate the length based on the percentage that I want to give. And from shape fill section I select the color for that, and now the colorful shape should be on the gray shape. By holding the shift key I select both shapes. I use the align options to align these shapes. I select align left and align bottom. Now it's time to add text box. From insert I use word art and write the text. Now you can select the text and regulate the related setting to the font. I make a copy of this text to show the percentage. And now we should create the circle shape. From insert and shapes I use the circle shape, and I draw it by holding the shift key. If you remember, I explained how to make 3D shapes previously. Do you remember that we should add an amount to length and width in inches and the 36 times rule? Do you remember? When we have selected the amount of length and width, we have a right click on our shape and select Format Shape. And then from Options and 3D Format, we regulate top bevel and bottom bevel as a round, and then we multiply the length and width to 36. 1 multiplied by 36 becomes 36. So we set 36 points in width and height values for both top and bottom options. By doing this, the 3D shape is created. Now we should color it. From shape fill and gradient option, we consider a color for it. Now when I click on gradient, the previous gradient is shown for me, which I have regulated before. It's easy. The only thing you should do is to select colors for each stops. For example, I select the red color. It begins from dark red and ends in light red. To choose the light red, I go to color section. First, I select the color of the previous level, and to make the color lighter, I use more color and custom option, and by moving these above, the color will get lighter. Then I click on OK, and I gave this gradient to the circle shape in this way. We can also add some light effects on this circle. So to do this, I also use the PowerPoint shapes. I select the circle hollow shape and change the size exactly same as the circle by holding the shift key, the same 1 inch. Then I reduce the thickness and select no as outline and select white as shape fill and put it on the red colored shape. I have a right click and from format shape, I increase the level of transparency. 80% will be okay for it to create that color effect around the shape. I zoom in to see what am I doing. This is the light part that we have created. Actually, I forgot to regulate no as a shape outline, that I do it now, and then we put the hollow of light in its place. I use the PowerPoint shape for another lightening parts. I select the circle hollow again. I regulate no as outline, and you can determine the thickness of that here. And then you should use PowerPoint shapes that actually now you can regulate 1 inch for length and width. You can regulate the size later. I use a rectangle to cut some parts of the circle shape. I select both circle and a rectangle. Then by the help of the merge shape option, I select subtract to omit the rectangle from the circle. And also I do the same for the left part of the light. Again, I select the circle and the rectangle, then I click on subtract. I select the white color from shape fill, and I regulate the transparency on 80, 85 or 20. And it is a matter of taste, actually. It is up to you. I zoom in to see the result better. This was the lightening effect that we have created. You can make a copy or create another one by the tips that I taught you. I make a copy and it is done. Then I select all the components and press Ctrl G to group them. And because I want to give a pass animation to this circle, I put it here. I put it first. Now let's add animation to the graphic elements. I open the animation pen from the animation section. Well, first of all, we select the background shape and give a simple wipe animation from left to it. And now we select the colored shape, and from add animation section, I add stretch animation for it. I select it and I regulate from left as an effect option and regulate after previous as a start. Now I want to add animation to this text. I select it, and from add animation I choose basic zoom for it and regulate after previous as a start and add out as an effect option. These are completely optional. You can regulate the animations in a way you like. Now it's turn to give animation to the circle. I select it. This circle first should enter to the slide with entrance animation. I select wheel for that. Then by the help of the pass animation, it goes to the point that we want. And for this entrance animation, we regulate after previous as a start, and for duration, we select half a second to run fast. We select the circle again, and from motion pass section, we select right option for that, and then click on OK, and we regulate the end point of the animation. I regulate after previous as a start, and for duration, we select half a second and to end the animation with an effect from effect option and bounce end. I regulate an amount for it, then I click on OK. Actually, it is better that text animation be in the second step. I drag it and put it as a second animation. Now only giving animation to this text is left. From add animation, I select appear for it and I regulate after previous as a start. And if you want it to be appear with a type mode from effect option and animation text, I select by letter and regulate the amount as 0.1, then I click on OK. It was all about giving animation to the objects of this work. Now let's see the result and see what have we made. I click on it. It's the result. I hope you like this education from bar chart. As you see, by the help of the PowerPoint shapes and the combination of what you have learned, you can have a creative presentation. Thank you for accompanying me to this course. Also, if you want the ready-made file that I have provided in this tutorial, you can send a message to the email or WhatsApp or Telegram number that I have provided in the video description. Thanks a lot.